What if you scribbled an idea on a napkin and it became a limitless scale tech company poised for exit? What if you had a vision of eliminating an inefficiency in your community, industry, or the world, and you had a chance to co-found a company and bring this product or service to the market? What if we could positively impact every social issue with tech? 10x Tech Tank is the #1 daily show for everything tech entrepreneurship. And whether you are technical or not, you will learn, be inspired, and witness transformation in the making. People will share tech ideas on napkins. People will showcase minimum viable tech products. People will explain their cash-flowing tech companies looking for acceleration. And if the person is right, and their idea is right, and the market is right, and the business model is right, then there's a great chance you will witness some serious magic. We are on a mission to build, scale, and sell 10,000 tech companies in 10 years. And we invite you to make history with us. Together, we achieve more.
Welcome to 10x Tech Tank. Jared Yellin here.
And my name is Eric Nowoslawski.
And we are so excited that you're joining us tonight. We're so excited because every night, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, we go live. We go live with 4 entrepreneurs from around the world that have a tech idea that they wrote on a piece of paper like this, or maybe they've gone and they've invested some money into it, and they have a minimum viable tech product, and sometimes we even have cash-flowing tech companies pitching us looking for acceleration. And ultimately, what they're really looking for is what we call co-foundership. So many entrepreneurs think that what they need is money, right? They need an investment, because without the investment, they can't get started. Yet, what I find is that money is not necessarily the missing ingredient. The missing ingredient always are the right people. It's the right team. It's what we call as co-foundership. Just picture this for a moment. Picture having an idea that you wrote on a piece of paper, a tech idea that you wrote on a piece of paper. And you've had this vision, maybe for a year, maybe for many years at this point, to actualizing that piece of paper, making it something that could impact the world, but you're just stuck. If I wrote you a check for $1 million, what would you do with it? You'd burn it, right? Like there's nothing you do with it because you wouldn't know exactly where to go. That's exactly why we exist at 10x Incubator, to co-found companies with the right person, with the right idea, in the right market, and the right business model. And that's what we're doing here tonight. We're looking for those people. Those people who got those ideas that just need to exist. And we want to say yes. But as you are in our audience, we need your help. Because we're 2 dudes that have done this quite a bit, right? We've had thousands and thousands of people go through this process with us. So we're able to detect the right person, right idea, right market, and right business model. But we'd love for you to chime in. And as these entrepreneurs are pitching their dreams in the chat, I invite you to share what your thoughts are. Do you love their ideas? Do you see an opportunity for us to co-found with these entrepreneurs? And if the answer is yes, then we invite you to say yes, hells yes. Do it, guys. Don't miss out on this one. So let's have our first entrepreneur hit the stage. We have, all right, I'm going to mess this up, Sandara. But if that's wrong, tell me how to say your name, and you are here, my friend, so take it away.
Hi, I'm Sundar and I'm the founder and the CEO of GD. And currently we are working on a healthcare sector, and that's also in 2 parts actually right now. One is a healthcare device and another one is consultation with doctor. And consultation with doctor means not only the modern science with Ayurvedic and homeopathy doctors. And we are selling the medicines as well. That's our second project. And our first project we are working on, that is our actually healthcare device. And I will be sharing the pitch. Just a minute.
Cool. You got 5 minutes. Share your dream with us. We're excited to hear.
Yeah. So actually we have seen many problems people who are living far from us in my condition, one of my family, one of my cousin, he was sleeping and in morning we have seen he's no more, and doctor said it was due to cardiac arrest. And we have seen many such problems. Actually cardiac problems occurs 5 to 6 hours before that its symptom starts, and we are unable to recognize and analyze that problem. We all know that we are not a doctor and we can't do that. So we came with, and you can see also like the graph is getting higher every year. That's why we have created an healthcare device which will use the data. Actually, the device analyzes SpO2, ECG, BP, and other functions, and that data will be shared to our application, and that application will analyze and make the prediction that your condition is not good, you should connect with the doctor, and if required, that report can be generated. That report can be generated and directly sent to the doctor, and he can like analyze like what kind of situation it is and how serious it is. You should visit the doctor or the hospital directly. And not only that, if cardiac arrest comes, and if someone wants to to go to the hospital, sometimes it take a long time to analyze. The initial screening is take to 30 to 40 minutes, and yeah, so all these screening takes ECG and other parts that will be analyzed by only our device. And yeah, our services are healthcare monitoring, which will be 24/7, and doctor consultation or hospital appointment and alerts with the emergency shares. Yeah, according to the health report, that if someone health is not good, like BP is continuously going on or SpO2 is not good from a long time, then we can suggest some of the diets or some of the yoga or Ayurvedic or natural healing things, which will be provided by our doctors, which will be connecting with our only application. And actually, there are many devices in market which do such things, but the prices of if I say one of company is Apple, and that prices is around I think $900 or around $1,000. But our price will be like we have done all the things, and it took around $70 to $80 maximum. And if we sell that, we can take around $150 for the profit margin on it. Yes. So novelty is our Ayurvedic consultation. Actually, modern sciences, medicines heals very quickly, but somehow it makes our body not that much good. So natural healing and Ayurvedic is the only thing which can make our body fight with that and cure that. Like we have seen many diseases like BP, sugar, anything that is cured by Ayurvedic, but that's not cured. It can't be cured by allopathy. That's why we are giving the Ayurvedic consultation also. And yoga sessions, actually, yoga sessions also will be given, and that will be given according to the subscription plan, which will be taken with that. Actually, we have seen I myself have seen one of my uncle was admitted in hospital, and he was suffering from COVID, and we were like very tense. What is his condition? What is his SpO2 and what's the growth rate? That's why the device can analyze all the things accurately. Actually, the main part in this prediction and all matters is accuracy of the data, and that's why we are working on that, and we have come with some of the sensors which will be doing that. So yeah, SWOT analysis, as we all know, it's a health tech device, and future demand is high, and everything is going on digital. So yeah, the need is high concern, and we have already seen in COVID, the health is the priority. Weakness is I had already said, there are
You have
many
60 seconds left. 60 seconds left. You're doing great. 60 seconds left.
Okay, sure, these all things. And yeah, solution I have already said, our ML algorithm will analyze that GPS location. So if someone is fallen down in anywhere, our concerned family member, then we can get the alert, of with that GPS. Like if my father is living 1,000 kilometer far from me, and he's met with an accident or anything else regarding that, that can be sent, and the doctor can get the data easily, like what was his previous history, and what was allergies and all. Not only that, yeah, business plan, there are many people who can't afford $200 also, but we are providing that in rental basis. We will be doing in like taking the security money, some of that, and the EMI parts, subscription, and like, yeah, connect with the doctors and government officials to approach the population at low marketing. And yeah, recently we have got selected for IIT Kanpur BIG grant. It's a, like you can say, incubation program for Indians, not only Indians, but from all over like world apply for that, and only few around 50, 60 gets it. Around $100K is provided to the initial startups for making
All right,
that.
let us ask you some questions. So, health tech, this is a topic that we're both passionate about, right, Biggie?
Yeah, absolutely.
So go for it. What questions you got? You kick it off.
So I just have some questions about your business model. First, I would change that. Yeah, okay, there you go. So is the doctor consultation included in the subscription plan that they have? You said an Ayurvedic doctor consultation. Is that included in their subscription?
Yeah, that's not in subscription plan. Actually, that will be on like a demand. If someone wants to connect with the doctor, they can connect. And if someone wants like taking the regular medicines, then he can take the subscription monthly, like around some points, and he can connect with the doctor 3 times a month. Or
Okay. And so where are you going to get these doctors to onboard them onto the platform?
actually, your voice, can you please repeat?
Where are you going to find these doctors and convince them to come onto the platform?
Where?
Like, how are you gonna get doctors to come onto this platform?
Okay, how I thought about this platform.
How are you gonna get doctors on the platform? Like, you need doctors to facilitate the service. So how are you gonna get doctors to say yes to being on the platform?
Okay, like how I will be making the like platform and all things. Actually, I have talked with some of the doctors in in South India. There are many Ayurvedic institutions with highly reputed faculties and working professionals which have around 20-25 years of experience. I have talked to 5 of them, and they agreed with us, like they will be working. And yeah, and according to like if I say about the healthcare device will be patent around 6 months. After 6 months, it will get patented.
How do you compensate the doctors? How do the doctors make money on the platform?
Doctor,
Yeah, how do they make money?
okay, how will I make money? Sure. Uh, After selling the device, that device will be like after the subscription and the services will be free for 2 months. Sorry, 2 years. And after that, if the person wants to continue, they can like choose the subscription or buy the new one. And like a yoga subscription plan, if someone wants to take the yoga sessions, then he can get the subscription about from that. We have talked to some of the doctors. Actually, in Ayurveda, doctors suggest yogas. So in prescription also, they will say you have to do such yogas, and we will be giving 2 yoga sessions free for them. And after that, if they want to continue, then they can take the subscription and they can continue. And we are also, not only that, we are selling the medicines as well. Like I have in homeopathy and in Ayurvedic, both of them. I myself have one of my friend who is in Ayurvedic dealer. So he said he will help me, and he's like partnered with me in this.
How far along is this? How far along is this idea? So do you have the physical device built, or no? Do you have any of the back end platform built? How far along into this idea are you?
Yeah, actually, the physical device is almost completed, and actually we are like working on the design right now to make it more good, looking good. And we are not taking a lot of things already many companies are doing like steps and calories burned or anything else. Actually that will be included, and that our battery, or you can say power backup, will be reduced. So we are working on that also. Yeah.
How did you fund it to this point? Did you go out and raise capital? And if so, how did you go about getting investors?
Yeah, actually, I said like IT Kanpur, they will be giving around 100K dollar, $100,000. Sorry, $100,000 of grant for the like after 6 months. And I have talked to some of the angel investors in India, and one of the investor Kunal is ready to invest in us. And yeah.
So what is your most significant need? Are you looking for a team to help you innovate faster? Are you looking for an investment? Or do you need promotional
Yeah,
support
actually,
or all of
the
the above?
investment is not that much, so we can continue. That's why I'm looking for right now investment. Actually, I myself, my background is I'm an engineer with around 3 years of experience, and all my members are in team, like tech team. And yeah, so yeah, in expansion of the team, we will require the team in future, but right now, not right now. After 6 months, I guess, around May 2022.
Cool. So listen, what I love about it is you got a big moonshot here. There's definitely a population that needs this. So Eric, what are your thoughts on next steps?
So for next steps, I think I just want to know a little bit more about the idea to really have clarity around it, because I'm not totally grasping what's the differentiation between what's in the marketplace right now, and also the business model is confusing me a little bit. So I'm not going to say yes or no right now. I just would want to learn a little bit more about the idea.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. There's a lot of moving pieces, and it might just be because you had 5 minutes to share there's a complex problem that exists, and maybe it's not that simple of a solution. This is one of the things we often talk about with entrepreneurs that have ideas, is that there's often these complex problems, and if you can find a way to create a simple solution, you did it. Like, you have built the wedge between yourself and anyone else in the world, and maybe this truly is a simple solution. I wasn't able to fully grasp it, but for those that are watching, are you hearing or seeing something that we're not, and should we move forward with due diligence? In the interim, we'll send you some questions to fill out so we can get deeper into your idea. You're obviously a very smart man, so congratulations on what you've done and your commitment. It's a big problem. There needs to be a solution. My hope is it's a simple solution to the big problem so it can truly scale. But thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you coming into the tank. In the chat, let us know, what do you think of this big health tech idea? So Eric, one of the things we talk about often is how important it is for entrepreneurs to get around other people that are just like them. People that have like moonshots, right? Like big, audacious visions for their life. And I can't think of a better place to congregate than at GrowthCon. Check out this commercial right now.
Wherever you are, my purpose is to help you. Are you ready to 10X? How many of you want to reach the next level? Strategies, so that you can go from where you are right now. I want 10 times that. Are you ready?
So how pumped are you for GrowthCon?
I'm incredibly pumped. This will be my first GrowthCon, and I can't wait for the energy and the excitement and all of the people who are going to be there. Networking is everything when it comes to building your business, and GrowthCon is the who's who of the business entrepreneurship world.
Yeah, and one other thing too is Grant Cardone is so committed to up-leveling every GrowthCon, like making every GrowthCon more exciting, more memorable than the last. You need to be there. If you're an entrepreneur with a big vision in your life, and for whatever reason you feel stuck, you feel restricted, you feel alone, you need to be there. And if you feel the opposite of that, you feel abundant, you feel free, you need to be there. You need to be around other people just like you, making big things happen. Make sure you get your ticket. This is gonna sell out quickly, as every GrowthCon does, and we can't wait to meet you in person. All right, let's see who is up next. Who is our next entrepreneur here? the one and only, we got Mr. Troy Rice in the house. What is up, my friend? Troy is a co-founder of another company with us called FarmBridge, but I guess Troy's got another idea. So you got 5 minutes, man. Take it away. Share your big idea.
Awesome, Jared and Eric. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here, guys. And so I had this idea come to me as an entrepreneur that has kind of struggled through the journeys of being a solo techpreneur to now being part of 10X Incubator. One thing that I truly struggled with is digital content. Like, I was not a designer, not a creator, didn't know how to started to figure out different platforms to use, Canva, using voice to text notes to capture thoughts, and all of these different ventures, and then trying to kind of plug them together and actually run a business. And before that, it was solo. And so the idea we came up with is this voice to text to post application. So in other words, consider like when you take a thought into a note, let's say like you use notes or notepad or whatever on your phone, and you want to capture a thought. You're driving in the car, you're walking down the street, and you want to capture your thoughts for the day. You capture those thoughts into an app that then uses a design software that runs behind the scenes, creates a post for you, and then that is ready to post across any social platform immediately. And then the application also manages the interactions of that post. So it's almost like taking the notes of capturing your thoughts, the Canva experience of designing and going in and entering keywords to kind of come up with a good branded solution, and then a platform like Hootsuite that helps you manage the posting and then putting those all in one. So you're blending 3 different types of processes that most entrepreneurs go through, especially if they're doing the solo tech or they're in a solo freelance position where they're trying to design content, get out there, tell about what they stand for, build their brand, and do it in the most effective way. But we know that all of that takes significant amount of time. It did for me. And so I know too that when we want to capture our thoughts, like, we're ready to go now. Like, if I'm in the car and I'm driving and I have this amazing thought, maybe I'm listening to a book or a podcast, and it starts to string thoughts together, I typically try to capture that in some type of voice text, or if I'm not driving, maybe I'm writing it down. But if we come back to it too late, we kind of lose that train of thought of what we were really trying to say and what we really wanted to convey to our audience to deliver that value. And so this creates that immediate experience that brings that thought to life. And so what we consider what that would look like is you would build a AI intelligence that would kind of work with the voice to text framework that already exists out there today. You would work with a list of designers to create an indexing or a database of what kind of design techniques match with what keywords and phrases that you're using, and that would morph and evolve as you use it. And so more entrepreneurs use it, and we're measuring effectiveness and interactions through that social management on the back end, then we can refine that design database. And then the social interaction and posting across all the platforms. So having all the integrations hook in to all your favorite social platforms to share with your audience immediately, and managing that from one spot.
Good stuff, man. All right. We love efficiency tools.
Yeah, especially for the creator economy as well. So what do you think the business model would be of this?
Yeah, my thoughts initially was a subscription model, very similar to like a Hootsuite or a Canva today. Would be a monthly subscription, but then there would be additional packages for small to mid-sized companies, maybe even corporate, depending on how you're managing that content and the interactions or the amount of content that you're publishing out. Let's say that you do 1 post a day or 3 posts a day, or how many a week or a month, and what those look like. And so the packages would range based on usage, based on size, based on volume and scalability.
Awesome. How do you see it getting to market? Like, there's obviously there's noise in the space. This is a differentiator, but there is noise in the space. There's social media posting platforms. There's platforms like Canva. There's a whole variety of tools. How do we separate ourselves from the noise in the market?
Yeah, and I think you start with incubator programs like 10X Incubator. You start with entrepreneur programs in school systems, because one thing that we try to do when we help people think through ideas is we help them see a journey of how they start to build a brand, how they start to get content out there if they're not comfortable with content today, or let's say they've been posting on social media, but they're not very good at turning it into what their value is to the world, right? And how they design that. And so I think we dig in at that level, which is, don't think about like, hey, use Canva, use this, use that, and then start to build this almost like overwhelming feeling, because that's what I had. And when someone first told me to start using Canva and go in there and designing my own posts, I'm like, well, what do I even start from? And so I think we start at that ground level, even at a high school, middle school level, when we start to think about what design looks like. And we start to scale it out from there instead of saying, hey, let's just go to all these platforms, figure out how to use them, figure out how to management and build in some time efficiencies for you. You start at square one, which is use this incredible tool that will not only capture your thoughts, but will actually manage from creating the content to posting the content to managing the content, all so that you can do it efficiently and focus on driving whatever that value is for you in the world.
Cool. So when you said manage interactions, what does that look like? So people start commenting on posts, like how does this platform manage interactions?
Yeah, and so Hootsuite already has a package that does this for you, where you can manage and comment, and you can actually manage those comments from the post within Hootsuite. And so my thought too is it would manage those interactions, so it would recognize the interactions rather than reading through an API or whatever that looks like. But then it's also collecting the data analysis, which is who's interacting with your post, on what platform, what keywords, what designs are working, so that you can kind of go back and look at that and say, well, this is what I kind of came up with. This is the schedule I posted on. And here are how people are interacting across each platform. And then go in there and then be able to tailor it within the app to the particular platform. So in other words, today, like I'll speak from personal. When I create something, I tend to post that image across all different social platforms, but that's not how people interact with each platform, depending on where you're at. And so it would help you actually build awareness of content and design, that how people are interacting on Instagram and what's working, versus how to tailor that same message with a slightly different design that actually interacts with people on Facebook and then Clubhouse and whatever. And so wherever you are posting content or sharing information, it would actually help you be a little bit more intent with your audience, because that audience is going to that platform with a certain type of visual and content consumption in mind.
Very interesting. So with regard to, so one of the things that I've always thought about in the new creator world is that people overthink what it means to start creating content, and they feel like they're actually creating content for themselves when they're ultimately creating content for the world. But if they're going to dissect and overanalyze the content they're creating, they're never going to get started. How do we use this platform to get the new creator started? So that's definitely a market that we could tap into to make it just easier for them to start sharing the message. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that comes in well, there's twofold here. The first one is the thought capture, because in my mind, like when we get ideas, it comes in different places. Like everybody's got, I'm a morning ideation person and an afternoon, maybe I'm a night owl. And so the thought capture process is key too. And how do you manage that in a way that actually captures the thought and gets it ready to post? The second piece that I think you're touching on is the management in the back end, which is I'm constantly posting on Instagram. I've been doing it, 3 times a day for a week. I'm not seeing much visibility or interaction. Maybe people are seeing it, but they're not commenting. How do I know that it's effective? We somehow build in this process in the back end that actually helps us think through that more intently, where we don't even think about what we should post on Instagram. We don't even think about what we should post on Facebook. It just becomes second nature. So we have the thought, and then we have the analysis tool that kind of comes in there, and it almost builds the customer journey for the social platform. And it could do that across any of them as they come on the scene. And so we know, like every few years, we have new social platforms that emerge. The great thing is like always running analytics based on that social platform and how people are interacting, what age range, what demographic that they are, so that we can understand how people are consuming the content, and we can think less on how we design and post it, and we can think more to how people are consuming it.
Yeah, I'm really on the fence, because there's so much that there's a way different way that you post on Instagram versus the way that you post on Facebook versus the way you post on TikTok versus the way you post on LinkedIn. All of them are so very different. And I'm also trying to think of what is 10 times better with this idea that currently doesn't exist. I like the idea of being able to put your thoughts into one place and then get it all programmed out. But some of them need videos, like Instagram is rewarding people for videos now. TikTok is all videos. I don't think you can even do pictures on TikTok. LinkedIn is rewarding people for videos. So I don't think you could spread this too much with just pictures all over the place. So I'm going to say we probably need a little bit more.
Yeah. So what I was thinking of
around the idea.
So what I was thinking is that, and the whole 10x better than everything else is one of the questions we ask all entrepreneurs. And Troy knows this because he's one of our co-founders that had an initial idea, which Glove you speak about in a minute too. And we've been able to together like 10x the idea. And when FarmBridge and Snapier reach the world, like it will forever change the world. There's something in the space of social media coordination and efficiency for the creator. There's something to make it more efficient. There's a lot of tools out there, yet so many people have a hard time creating consistent content. They either are their own worst enemy, where they're getting in their own way, or they're sharing examples like Troy, where they're maybe are producing content, but it's so labor intensive to take one piece of content and then stretch it across so many different platforms. And then I hear you, like there are certain platforms that the native form of content is video, like it just has to be a video or it can't post there. Other platforms, it's images. Other platforms, it's long form copy, short form copy. So it's really difficult. But if there was a way that a platform can centralize content and then make it easier to disseminate it so that it was specific to each platform, I think there's a place there. But at the same time, I think we got to go deeper into this. But I'm curious, all of you that are watching this live right now, what are your thoughts? Are you looking for a more efficient way as a new creator or a senior creator or something in between? Are you looking for a new way to disseminate your genius, to get it out into the world? We love to hear from you. Troy, before we have you part, what's the moonshot with FarmBridge? Because FarmBridge is a company inside of 10X Incubator, radically going to change the world. In 60 seconds, what is the moonshot?
Yeah, Jared, we are on a mission to create 100,000 farmers markets, reduce healthcare spending by $100 billion, and become carbon neutral by 2030. And how we're going to do that is create neighborhood farmers markets all across the nation where people can access locally grown healthy food right in their backyard, right at their gym, their church, wherever they are. We're going to create the avenues that logistically make sense and start to build a culture around locally grown food and start to change the culture and the dynamic of our nation and our environment.
Awesome. Troy, thank you, my friend. And for all of you that are watching, check out this commercial right now on FarmBridge.
What if there was a way to guarantee farm fresh produce in the home of every family in your zip code? What if you and your family could launch a business out of your home, place of worship, or anywhere you desire? What if you could become part of the solution to current healthcare crisis that plagues our world? What if you could become your local farm bridge? We are on a mission to find one local health enthusiast in every zip code from around the world to launch a local farmers market. This business opportunity will take only a few hours a week and produce significant income for you and your family. Plus, it's a force for good as we unite and simplify the process of connecting local farmers with local families so that farm fresh produce exists within every home in your community. We are on a mission to revitalize our soil, help the farmers who work tirelessly to provide high nutrient foods to our families, and strengthen the health of our nation that has been manipulated into consuming low nutrient, ultra processed foods. Together, we can grow the number of thriving, sustainable farms and increase human health and longevity through creating ease in access to high nutrient foods. Spots are limited and zip codes are being claimed quickly, so if you could see yourself as part of the solution, we invite you to join our movement.
So one of the most common pieces of feedback we've been hearing from the tank is they want to hear from our founders. They want to hear from people that we've said yes to, and they want to understand, why did we say yes? Like, what was the thing that stood out? So I was thinking about some of our founders that have really gone through a process with us where they had an idea, then they worked with you, they worked with Seth, they worked with Dan, they worked with people on the team to refine their idea. And there was that moment where it just landed. And like everybody knew, like we have something here. And Jason Centeno, our co-founder of Trashmitter, is one of those entrepreneurs who came in with this burning desire to do something meaningful and impactful in the world. He's already done a ton, and Trashmitter was born. So Jason, I'd love for you to share what has been your journey ideating and iterating with Trashmitter. And before you go there, what is Trashmitter?
Hey guys, thanks. So, what is Trashmitter? Trashmitter in its current stage is an on-demand trash removal service. We are there for short-term rental hosts like Airbnb hosts, small businesses, personal needs for quick trash removal. You got a home project you got to get rid of over the weekend. Maybe you had a cookout over the weekend and you don't want to keep trash in your house for too long because the trash guys are going to skip you that week. Maybe you're helping out your aunt, declutter, and you're afraid that she's going to go back in after all your hard work if you leave trash out and go back through everything and put it back after you've done all that. So it has multiple use cases, but essentially we're looking to turn trash into treasure through, let's just say now, a method through crypto where we can eliminate litter by the year what did I say, 2026? I think that's where we're at right now. So anyway, so that's what trash emitter is, the process. So quick backstory. I met Jared through, I was interviewing people for a podcast, StreamYard, the Dad Next Door was something that I wanted to do for dad entrepreneurs about, discussing how to balance business and life. And I met Jared through, I believe it was Clubhouse. And so we started talking and he told me about the Idea Squad, which is another function of what Sela and now 10X Incubator does, which is they help people get their ideas to, from the napkin and all the way through the process to a point where it could be something that, a tech company can be born of it. So we started out there, but then I told him about like this problem I kept having. And I had a multiple Airbnbs. I had about 25 to 27 of them running at one time. And trash started becoming a big problem, to the point where, neighbors were getting pissed off. I had, getting fines, having bad guest experiences because this little thing we consider trash is like not a big deal, but it was costing me money, time, aggravation, pissing off neighbors. It was this whole sort of avalanche that came from this one little thing, right? So I discussed it with him and I said, hey, I had this idea. And he was like, well, go through our process, work it out a little bit, and then we'll look at it and see if it's something that, if there's a tech idea behind it. And lo and behold, after I went through it, I started looking at all these other possibilities around it, put it together, got it to them, and Jared got excited. He was like, yeah, I think there's something here. Let's continue with the process. So there is somewhat of a process. And if you're going to take on this journey of course, there's multiple steps, getting something from a piece of paper, from your mind to a piece of paper, and then into something that's workable, that can cash flow, that can actually do good in the world, and all these things that we try to encapsulate when we actually do a business, right? It's not just, oh, that would be cool. No, it's like, does it have legs? Is it going to be something that I want to do for the rest of my life? And I'll be the first to tell you, I did not think for 1 minute that I was going to be in the trash business at all. But I guess what happened was I started to really dig into the problem, and I did develop a passion for it. So after that, we got into it, and then, we signed some documents, and then the ball started rolling. You put together the legal documents, the corporation, the bank account, such and such. And then let's see what happened from there. Okay, so we started.
What's interesting though is this, Jason, is even for all of you watching, the process of going from napkin to what we call minimum viable product in and of itself is massive. I mean, so many people get stuck at the napkin phase because they don't take themselves seriously. They don't know where to go next. They're non-technical, yet they have a tech idea. I mean, these are all things that I experienced. These are things that you would have experienced, Jason, with your vision, if there wasn't an opportunity to co-found a company where all that infrastructure is present. And Jason worked closely with you, Eric, with Trashmitter, to really refine the idea initially, and then you worked with Seth and other members of our team. What did you see within this idea that got you excited?
Well, what I saw was we clearly identified the problem, right? And so we identified a niche and a problem. So it was the Airbnb host, and they have trash just sitting around for multiple days on end until they could finally get rid of it. And there's no easy way for them to be able to clear that trash from their Airbnb rental. And so that's where we started. And then Jason has been the one piloting the vision and the overall, moonshot of the platform. But the important part is we can't get to a moonshot without taking the first step. So what we did was really simplify the process. And like I said, start with that niche, start with that simple process. And now we're all moving together as a team to get to that overall moonshot and vision that Jason has.
And the key as a founder inside of 10X Incubator is that you're agile. You're willing to adapt. Because there's no crystal ball. Like, we don't necessarily know exactly what's going to work. But once we know what the problem is, and we say this is a problem that's worth solving, we then need to think of a solution and then 10X it. 10X the solution, because there's other things out there across every problem that exists in the world. There's other solutions, but there's still a problem that exists. There's still a problem called litter that exists, even though there's solutions to try and eliminate litter. So we have to look at what the problem is, look at all the solutions, and find a way to build something that's 10X better. And that's what Trashmitter is. I invite you to go to trashmitter.com and get on the list. We are currently building this platform. We're going to launch this platform in Philadelphia as our first market, prove out the model, and then go and scale into other cities. Maybe a city exactly by you, but we want you to get on the list. Make sure that you follow the journey of Trashmitter, from napkin to what we call exit, where we build and scale and sell this company. Jason, thank you so much for believing in us, for joining us. I want to hear one final thing from you, man. What's the be-all, end-all force for good for you with regards to adoption?
For adoption, so I should probably make this hat with 100x, but like that was kind of like how we started. It was like, well, what's your big why for doing everything you're doing as an entrepreneur? I was like, because I want to become instrumental in the adoption of 100 children before I die. And what that looks like is, we personally adopted 5 of our own, foster to adopt. I've also helped a couple of friends do that as well. So there was three more children I can kind of count on that scale. But everything I do, whatever influence I do, whatever business I do, I'm always going to have that conversation with people, because I hope to touch, move, and inspire other entrepreneurs, especially dad tech entrepreneurs, not only to help them to grow their business and maybe become, 7-figure earners, but then also if they had that seed or, that feeling in their heart, if they wanted to adopt, to also be the one to help hold their hand through the process as a father who has done that, the family behind that. And, now that they're enabled to financially do something like that, then, okay, now the part of the journey really begins. Here's the roller coaster. Let's get on together. You don't have to do it by yourself. I want to be that guy. So when I say 100 kids, I want to make sure 100 kids, like I have had a hand in helping my friend, let's say if it was Jared or Eric or whatever, and saying, hey, this is what we went through. Here's some of the steps you should follow. This is some of the pitfalls. Here's who you need to kind of link up with, and, hopefully have successful adoption at the end of that journey for those people. And I would count that as like one of my 100. So that's my big
Listen, we're on the journey with you. We appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being a co-founder with us. One of the things we hear often from small business owners is they're so overwhelmed with all of the different tools that they need to run their business, right? And we have a co-founder, his name is Gallant Dill. And Gallant said, I want to put an end to that problem. I want to make it so economically accessible that it's almost weird, literally weird. And that's what Business Toolkit is. It's almost weird because it's absolutely free. Check this out.
What if there was a simple business toolkit that got you paid by your clients, customers, and patients? What if you can set up your account in seconds and begin benefiting from all of the features in minutes? What if this entire platform is free? Business Toolkit is revolutionizing the way small businesses and sole proprietors are running their businesses by enabling you to manage your sales process from one platform from start to finish. Imagine canceling your expensive scheduling software, or discontinuing your clunky invoicing software, or eliminating your pricey task management software, and instead using one platform, your Business Toolkit, to drive your business forward. And don't forget, Business Toolkit is free. Sign up ASAP and begin saving money while you make way more money than ever before.
So what do you think? Like, what could hold you back from saying yes to Business Toolkit? I mean, at least give it a shot. There's no strings attached. The platform's completely free. And this becomes your invoicing task management platform to ensure that you're getting paid in a timely fashion from your clients. Whether you're a graphic designer, a landscaper, a chiropractor, or any other type of business, Business Toolkit is your answer. Go download your free version today at businesstoolkit.com. We can't wait to hear your feedback. All right, let's see who is next. In the tank, we got Josh here. Josh, where are you calling in from tonight?
Calling in from Perth in Australia, gents.
There we go, Josh. Man, good to see you, my friend. Please take it away. You got 5 minutes. Share that big idea.
All right, guys. So welcome to the Epicurean Collective. We're building the world's biggest wine tourism loyalty platform. I guess the first thing to really look at is that wine tourism is the biggest sector for tourism by region globally. Our business is generated around collaboration, meaning that whilst wine tourism wineries are the glue for the reason people travel to those regions, consumers travel there and they not only engage with wineries, but food businesses, boutique accommodation, distilleries, breweries, golf courses, and any other sort of tourism experience. So we wanted to make sure that we created a business that benefited and value added all of the touch points for those consumers. When we look at the global problem within wine tourism, there's 4 key areas. Number one, there's a very large attrition rate within wine clubs, meaning that basically people that are members of wine clubs that buy wine regularly are leaving these wine clubs. these numbers are sitting at around 11% a year, and these numbers are growing. On the secondary side of that, people joining a mailing list, so people that aren't even buying wine, but even just within the ecosystem and want to hear about what new offers and what things are available, only 3% of visitors are actually joining those lists. Once again, means that they're not converting into buying wine. On the flip side of that, wineries are really wanting to increase their direct-to-consumer sales. So globally, for a long time, wineries have been selling wine in the last 15 years through resellers. So through, online channels or through, bottle shops, as we call them in Australia, but like equivalent of, say, Walmart in America. And then finally, there's a drop in spend of consumers when they're visiting wine regions. And the main reason for that has been because they're not being engaged enough. When we look at the opportunity between Australia and the US, it's a nearly $26 billion a year industry, wine tourism. So what we currently know is that loyalty programs within any industry increase revenue and build customer retention, which is obviously one of the key solutions that we're talking to the problems. Secondary, consumers are becoming more and more savvy, especially from a tech perspective, but they're wanting to be incentivized because all of your major retail brands around the world realize that consumers need to now be incentivized and rewarded for their loyalty and their purchases. As far as the opportunity with us, we're a tech and data company. We're building the most innovative and customer data set in wine tourism, not only Australia, but globally. Why are we doing that? So then we can teach our customers and our members on how to sell and convert their wine better. And the greatest opportunity here is we're the first to capture this validated global opportunity. So what's the solution, you may ask? The solution is what says in the box, and that is wine rewards. We've created the first global marketplace and rewards platform where you can access basically all the businesses within wine regions and be rewarded for those purchases. Consumers then can take those points, and because we're a transferable program, they can then go and use those reward points for experiences or products at any other business on our platform. We're an automated loyalty program, meaning that we're not trying to make life harder for the businesses or the consumer. In fact, we're making it easier for them to engage and be able to transact with each other. Our technology works both on Apple and Android and any smart device. And as you can see below, we've already got integration with all your major payment gateways. How do we make money? Look, our revenue model is about a subscription model. Every other business around the world that works in supplying SaaS-based products and what have you, try and take a clip of the ticket in the wine industry, meaning that every time a bottle of wine or a hotel room is booked or sold, that they're taking a commission. It's not what the industry is wanting. And what they were telling us is they're happy to pay a month-on-month subscription to have access to these services and these tools and not be dictated by how much wine they may or may not sell. Like all SaaS-based products, the great thing about it is that we've got the ability to scale. And as we start to scale, that growth will really start to sort of separate, as you can see, sort of into year 2 and 3 for us there with an exciting growth period. As far as where we're at right now, here in Australia, and we've had COVID pretty hard if anyone's seen what we've gone through, but we've signed up over 200 businesses and we haven't even launched yet. What that's showing is that we've got demand for our product and the industry is saying, yes, we see value, yes, we want it. Based on those 200 businesses already, when we look at launching in March 2022, that would already give us around 40,000 Australian in month-on-month revenue. Because we don't sell a product, we've already got access to over 1.3 million wine consumers here in Australia ready to be introduced to us. The reason is our partners and the businesses are happy to market wine rewards to their database because they don't see us as a competitor, but in fact, someone that's going to benefit their business. The market's already and has continued to validate our value proposition. And so far, you can see there that we've invested a bit over 225,000 into building out the roadmap that we've had so far. If you look at some of the businesses below, we're starting to partner with some of the biggest brands in Australia and globally. If you look at that quote just there,
1 minute, Josh. 1 minute. You're doing a great job. 1 minute, Josh.
Yep. Wine Rewards is a game changer. That's Jason Bird, who's the GM of the National Wine Centre. That they hold a bottle of wine of every single winery in Australia, and they see the value for the industry as well. The fun part, guys, we're in a seed capital raise at the moment in Australia. First and foremost, we're looking for a minimum of $500,000 Australian. That will get us to market in a very small scale, but with a greater scale. The big part here is going to be marketing spend and basically building the hype. In terms of our international market launch, look, that is how long is a piece of string kind of question. It depends on which market and how big we go. So with that, guys, we're here to say to invite you to invest in the future of the global wine tourism landscape.
Awesome. Whew. Josh came to play, completely disrupting the wine industry. So I have a question. I know that it looks like this will launch in Australia initially, but bigger vision to have this throughout the world. So please speak into that.
Absolutely. So the great thing about wine consumers is they're universal around the world. Everyone drinks wine and enjoys food and wine, boutique accommodation and wine regions throughout the world. So the only barrier that we would have would be language. But in saying that, we've already got demonstrated demand internationally: South Africa, US, New Zealand, Spain, UK, France. Anywhere that has a wine tourism play, this has got value for them.
So what are wineries currently doing now that this doesn't exist yet? And do they realize there is an inefficiency? So both questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the moment, the only loyalty that they've got has been internal. So traditionally, loyalty programs are there to keep consumers within their own ecosystem. We're challenging that because that's what consumers are telling us they want. So as far as the inefficiencies at the moment, absolutely, because those numbers that I presented in the third slide, wineries, I guess the saying in the market is they don't know what they don't know. So what's happening is that they don't know why they're losing customers and how they don't feel they've got any tools to how to start re-engaging them or converting them.
Yeah. And what I like about this idea is it's capturing on top of a wave that's already growing bigger, right? So last year was the first year since probably about the 80s that Americans were spending more money at bars and restaurants than they were at the grocery store. So now people are just upticking the amount of money that they're spending on alcohol, specifically with COVID. I know that Australia was hit very hard with COVID, and America as well. And so people were increasing their spend on alcohol, and I think the wineries and the wine distributors, they want to be able to capture that information. They want to be able to keep them engaged. They want to be able to retarget them. And so I think that this is a great idea for an industry that might have been kept away from tech for too long.
Yeah, I agree. So I have a question for you. So if you had to pick like an influencer or somebody to support this to get the message out quickly, do you know who that would be right now?
Oh, is that a loaded question?
Somewhat loaded, yeah.
Oh, look, definitely someone like Grant is obviously ideal for that. I mean, anyone that's got a
Pretend that I'm Grant. Why would Grant get behind this and promote this? Like, what is in it for Grant? What's in it for the world? How does this create seismic impact? 'Cause that's what he stands for. He wants to create even playing field, access to everybody. What is the pitch to Grant to get him to say yes?
Sure. Well, look, the great thing that we're doing is we're not asking consumers to do anything they're not already doing. So all we're doing is we're saying to them, well, let's start rewarding you for something that you're already doing. And by that creates change. So we're not telling people how to change their lives. In fact, we're starting to benefit them with a very organic and natural way. And what better to do that is to incentivize people.
Yeah, so I got a question. So do you see yourself with this platform going direct to consumer or direct to winery or potentially both? Because if the consumers have this loyalty rewards app on their mobile device, and then they're going to the winery and they're like, hey, do you take these rewards? And they're like, no, it's like a motivation to get it. So what is your go-to-market play here? Is it both, or are you first going to focus on the wineries? I know you have about $40,000 of revenue that's going to come in monthly, which is wonderful at this stage, but speak into that.
Yeah, sure. So we sort of see ourselves as the middle of the coin, where we're upstream and downstream. So we need to have the wineries and the value on there. So when consumers download the app, they see a lot of options for them, and vice versa. The wineries are saying, well, we want to see a lot of consumers that if we're going to join this platform, we want to know that there are people that are going to be looking for us. Our job is to basically provide a discovery gateway for the consumer. So then if they're going to a certain wine region or they're looking for a certain variety of wine or a boutique hotel or a gin, that they can use our platform to find what's within their palette and their search parameters, and have that convenience of being able to engage with those businesses. So rather than them having to walk in searching for someone, we're actually bringing that information back to them in their lounge room or sitting at their office desk or, sitting in the car park.
Awesome. So what are your thoughts on due diligence? And as Eric is speaking in the chat, let us know what you think. Do you think we should move forward with Josh here and go through the due diligence around this just disruption in the winery industry? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, you're calling it a disruption, so leaning towards yes, of course. But anyway, from what I said before, I do want to head into the due diligence process. It's a growing market. It's solving a problem that some of the wineries have already identified as a problem. Some of them might be a little blind to it as well, and then we'd have the opportunity to educate them about it. Yeah, so yes, I'd want to move forward in due diligence.
And I'll tell you for me why. So other than what Eric is saying, Josh, you are the right person to do this. I mean, this is something that you're meant to do in this lifetime, and your certainty, and even in just those 5 minutes, your certainty around the problem, the solution, the go-to-market strategy, the economic model, you just hit every single point. I just want to commend you. I mean, awesome job coming in the tank. I know this isn't easy. 5 minutes, a really short period of time. This is a passion of yours too, so I'm sure you could have went on for probably 5 hours and still had more information to share. I'm a hell's yes. And for those in the chat, that's what it looks like to come into the tank and to become memorable. I talk about this all the time, how important it is for entrepreneurs to become memorable for the right reason. And I started to realize how I've done this over the years. And there's really 3 steps. The first is declare your moonshot. So for us, build, scale, sell 10,000 tech companies in 10 years. The next step is to do what I call maniac action. So maniac action leads to this reaction. They're crazy and they're onto something. And we've done so many things. This show, as an example, is maniac action. We did our first episode on a Tuesday and the idea hit me on a Friday afternoon. We then did 2 episodes and then decided to do a daily show. I mean, that's literally crazy. I was with Grant Cardone the other day. He's like, are you really doing this thing daily? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's crazy. And you're onto something. And then the third thing is talk about it. So many entrepreneurs keep their idea secret. They're afraid. What if they give away their idea and somebody takes it? I need to keep this thing so closed and so tight. And as a result, that's what it remains, this little speck of dust in a world that needs that speck of dust to turn into something significant. So if you want to get attention for the right reason, you want to become memorable for the right reason, you need to have a moonshot, take maniac action, and talk about it incessantly. That's what we're looking for in the tank. We want people that want that. That's why we've built this platform for you. So I want to invite you right now, as you're watching us, maybe you're someone that's tuning in every day, maybe a few times a week. We're doing this to give you a chance to see somebody in the tank that looks like you, that sounds like you, so that you have the courage, yes, the courage to pitch us your idea and then to be in the tank with us. Head over to 10xtechtank.com, and that's exactly where you can submit your idea and also sign up so that we can notify you before every one of our episodes, which is Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So with that, Big E in the house, what lights you up about hearing people's vision?
I was actually just at an event and people were talking about, well, what if this doesn't work? What if this, fails over here? What if we have this challenge that we can't get over? And then another person said, well, what if it does work? What does the world become if this thing does work? Wouldn't that be amazing? Not just cool, but think about all the lives it's going to change. Think about all of the things it's going to do. And so that's what's exciting to me, is hearing these little seeds and all of the potential that could possibly come from these seeds.
What if you raise your hand tonight? What if you go to 10x Tech Tank tonight and you click submit an idea? What if? All right, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.
Which napkin will become the next exit? Which MVP will evolve into a unicorn? Which cash-flowing tech company will reach the next level? Our hope and desire is that it's yours. Your idea, your MVP, your cash-flowing tech company. Now is your time. Head over to 10xincubator.com and submit your idea so that you get on the tank and give us the chance to transform your napkin into an exit. That's 10xincubator.com. That's 10xincubator.com. Let's go.